Welcome to Nurses in Charge. This is our podcast, Share Your Nurse Story. Welcome on another Sunday. We have not missed a Sunday for 15 weeks. So this is episode 15, and I am excited today joining you with other nurses that I am anticipating their presence here. And this is going to be an exciting discussion. So welcome, invite your friends, invite your colleagues. If you're at work and you're on break, we don't want to break any rules. So please do feel free to join us here today. This is going to be amazing because the topic of this episode is one that is quite engaging. And I cannot wait to have my guest join me today. In the meantime, wherever you're joining from, if you are brand new to our podcast, I say welcome. If you are a returning audience and you just have found us fun and loving, I say thank you. Thank you for your returns, and to those super nurses and our supporters out there who are not even nurses, and they always just come to join the conversation and keep us company, and always sending good vibes and inviting, I would say, recruiting members to Nurses in Charge. I say my heart goes out to you. Thank you so much. And please do let us know in comments where you're joining us from, your name, and also just let us know a little bit about you. Where is it you're joining from? How long you've been a nurse? And tell us something about yourself. In the meantime, while you are prepping to do so and grabbing your friends to come out here and just have a fun time with us, let me tell you a little bit about myself. My name is Dr. Nyeku Kimoho. I'm a DNP nurse practitioner, and I love what I do as a nurse. I see Amanda just joined me. Amanda, I'll bring you right on stage. I'm so excited to have you.
Oh, I'm so excited to be here.
Perfect.
I'm so excited I got this thing to work with the background. I got it uploaded.
You are super girl. You got the background. I have it, and it's just like uniform. I love it. Perfect.
I like the uniform too.
Awesome. I am echoing for some reason. I don't like that. Do you hear me echoing?
I don't hear you echoing. No.
Hmm.
Not sure if anyone else.
If anyone out there hear me echoing, it's once you got on, I'm not blaming it on you, Amanda.
Do what?
I said once you joined me, I started hearing the echo. So let me see, maybe something in settings. I'm so excited that you could join me today.
Me
Let
too.
me see back here. How is your Sunday going?
It is going a little chaotic for a Sunday. It's a very rainy. We have animals to take care of. We got cats running inside and dogs running outside and inside. And we had a little bit of change of plans with our nurses that will be joining, but we will have a nurse joining with us. Tristan sends her apologies, but she also has a good friend of hers named Caitlin Sims who will be joining us probably in about 10 minutes or so.
Perfect. All right. I'm just good. Oh, I just found it. Can you hear me? I just found the echo cancellation, but no, it's not working.
Oh, that wasn't a cancellation. I can hear you echoing now.
Okay, let me go back. Ladies and gentlemen, this is not my profession. I am not into recording and journalism, but we will get this rectified. Um, Let me see what was all that. All right, let me see. Yeah, so it's raining up there in your area. Okay, can you hear me now? Oh, you are muted, Amanda.
I knew that too. It's not raining anymore now. The sun is starting to shine through, so hopefully my lighting will actually get better here in a second.
So
But
far, you look
it was storming
beautiful.
here just a few minutes ago.
You know, that's one thing I don't like when it's raining and starts storming. I'm like, oh my goodness, it scares me. Thundering,
The thunder does.
yeah.
You know how I'm not sure if you've had dogs like own pets and stuff in the past, but most of my friends historically, all of their dogs, even the biggest dogs, they're so scared of thunderstorms. And I have a Boston Terrier who's about 26 pounds,
Mhm.
and he will sleep through the storm. I'll wake him up saying, Huxley, are you scared? And he just sighs and starts snoring again. And it's like, whatever,
Oh,
mom. So, but no, yeah, the thundering, sometimes the lightning and thunderstorms here in East Texas are pretty bad, pretty frightening.
as you know, I'm in Orlando, Florida, and yeah, when it rains, it pours.
Gosh, especially lately. How are y'all doing recovering from? I know a lot are still recovering from that storm.
People are still recovering from the storm, and my heart goes out to them because I can't imagine losing everything. I had a patient back in October, early October, and she had lost everything in the Carolinas. And she said, I have nothing. Everything. It was her home for so many years and she lost everything. I said, man, that's a nightmare. Beyond that.
It really is. It really is a nightmare. It's a nightmare for the family too. And I say that because my family is from Louisiana, southeastern Louisiana, and back in 2016, they went through a terrible, horrific flooding experience,
You know,
and
was
they
it
they you
Katrina?
know they're wading through floodwaters, and there's nothing I can do. There's nothing I can ship them. I lived in Austin, Texas at the time, and I'm just sitting there feeling more helpless than I have ever felt in my life. It was horrible,
Yeah.
but they're doing much better these days. It's been a couple years.
Hmm. Yeah. It's never a good thing. You see people joining us from, let me see. Oh, Maria B. This is Siane Maria. They're on Facebook.
Oh, that's great.
Hey guys, welcome, welcome. Perfect. Please let me know, guys, on Facebook if you can hear me echoing because it's like driving me nuts. And if you cannot hear me echoing, then I will not worry about it. I just keep going. Let's see. In the meantime, I was introducing myself when you came in and got to the point I was just saying yes that um oh she said there is an echo. OMG. Thank you, Siane. Appreciate that. Man.
Hmm.
Oh my goodness. How do you cancel an echo on StreamYard? That's the question of the day. Anyone who has
Do you have
expertise
are you playing it on are you streaming from your laptop or phone? Or do you have the
from my
other one? Like two different devices streaming?
no, from my laptop. And actually, yeah, my phone. I can actually turn my phone off and see if that would help. No, because Amanda, we've had it in the past. It was one of the earliest um podcasts we had, and it was echoing all through. Shannon's trying to help me. She said, Apple, the echo. Yes, I did that. The echo cancellation studio. Okay. Thank you, Shannon. You come just in time.
CNAs. We can't do anything without CNAs. We love our CNAs so much. I have so much respect for them and caregivers in general.
Amanda, I can't wait for us to hear about your engagement with nursing professionals out there and how such engagement has brought us so much over the years. And let me see. Let me see. All right, I did select default internal microphone built in, and I have the echo cancellation on. So let me see if that will help. If it will, that'd be awesome. Okay. Hello, 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 testing. I think it worked.
I hear you fine. Are we echoing at all?
There's not an echo anymore. Uh-oh, I hear it. It is crazy. See how much time,
Is it
how
me?
much of our time is taken? Hmm. Oh, Caitlin is trying to join us in a bit. She's saying, it's got me thinking, should we? Everything sounds, yeah. Okay. Hi, Caitlin. I know you are back there. And we're trying to troubleshoot an echo that's interrupting here. I just bring you from backstage, so she's only audio. Hi,
Hello.
Caitlin. Welcome.
Hi, how are y'all?
We're good. We're
Hello.
just,
Thank you so much for joining us, Caitlin, on such short notice.
No, you're so welcome.
thank you so much. We were just trying to troubleshoot the echo that from my end. I believe it's from my end. And but I just let you guys introduce yourself. How's that? Let's get the party started and um not
Sure.
worry
Well,
about
yeah. Well, thanks again for having us on. My name is Amanda Maggio. I'm part of Nurses in Charge as the Chief Innovation Officer now. All the crazy graphics and lots of new stuff popping up is me. And Caitlin is no stranger to me doing stuff like that all the time. We also run. I also run with the Rural Wellness Nurse Wellness Foundation of East Texas. That's kind of home of the Piney Woods Nurse Awards for East Texas. That's really how Caitlin, Tristan, Isty, who may be coming on with us too today, how we all kind of met each other is through this program, and I can let kind of Caitlin go into more details about that and whatever she wants to talk about. But yeah, it's just really a part of recognizing excellency in nurses, caring for our caregivers. I have a very empathic heart, and I'm a marketer by trade. I work in hospice. And so I've seen every different kind of nurse. I work with all different kinds of nurses all the time. And my heart is really close to nurses. And so I call myself like nurse's best friend. So I'm here just to have it brings some nurses on for you guys, and I'm here to help however I can. So thanks for having me on the podcast today. And Caitlin, you are welcome to go next and just whatever introduction.
Okay, hi. My name is Caitlin. I am a registered nurse. I have a history in cardiac. I do mainly in the cardiac cath lab. I have now transitioned my role into a nurse administrator for a ambulatory surgical center here in the Woodlands. Um, I've done rural ER, I've done med surge, I've done the pandemic of COVID. I've done a little bit of everything from psych nursing to just a broad spectrum in the 4 years I've been a nurse. I'm so grateful for everything, and I love the profession that I chose, and I think that I would never imagine myself where I am today, but I'm so glad that I chose the profession that I did.
Yay! I like to hear that. I love it, love it, love it. When people say their choice of profession was the best and still is, and they are having a blast. Kathleen, thank you for joining us, and thank you for choosing nursing. Um, as a nurse myself, over the past 20 plus years, it the years fly by, but I've had so much fun in a profession that it's not like work anymore. It feels more like when you fit into the right shoes and fit into the right outfit and you're just styling into it. That's how it feels like to me and for me, and I love it.
Yes, it is absolutely wonderful. It's so rewarding, and it's really what God intended for me and what I needed.
Thank you, thank you. I was just trying to mute myself while Caitlin was speaking to see if that would help us with this noisy ridiculousness that's going on. But hey, this party must go on. So, ladies, I have never worked in rural settings as you guys have done, and the fact that Caitlin goes to say that she's done psych. I've done psych, elsewhere in in major hospitals. I've done correction. I've done, the closest to rural nursing I've done has been when I've taken medical missions too, at least two of them to Liberia in my hometown, a village. So we talk about rural. I believe your rural settings are major, I would say well developed as compared to my exposure to rural nursing practice. So can you please just describe for me, if someone were to walk into your work setting, how does it look like? So then I would tell you what rural setting in Liberia looks like.
So as far as like rule in the small town of Cleveland here, I
Mhm.
know that through the pandemic, we were short on a lot of things and we were trying to make ends meet. But as far as everything kind of getting up to pace with the big chain hospitals, as far as Memorial Hermann, HCA, stuff like that, we're not far behind them. Now, maybe our imaging is not as precise as theirs or whatever the case may be, but I feel like we're kind of getting up there with the other hospitals, and I think the pandemic really pushed for that.
Wow. Wow. So when you say rural, I'm just thinking, don't mind me, I get very curious, and I believe that is one thing that's taking us on to having our NIC tour, NIC global tour that we're starting in Liberia, of course. So that curiosity has me wondering, okay, do you have a 24 24/7 electricity.
Yes, 24/7 electricity with generator backup if it were to go out.
Perfect, perfect, perfect. And it sounds like um you have major machines such as an X-ray machine. You have printers. You have hmm. Walk me into your nursing station for a moment,
Um,
please.
so we have computers, you have your vital sign machines that are on wheels that you just wheel into a room where they're already attached to the wall itself. And I know that's probably completely different from where
Uh-huh.
you do yours. But I mean, we are truly grateful for that and the
Awesome.
technology here because I mean, I can only imagine what it would be like in a small rural village.
Yes. Thank you so much for giving us that imagery. Um, nursing all over the world is so diverse. Uh, uh, for better, for lack of better words, and with um, Amanda supporting you guys and truly, truly highlighting nursing at every scope as much as she can. That truly takes me to say, wow, if you can bring spotlight to nurses who are practicing in rural healthcare settings in America. Why not we do that, in other parts of the world? You know, nursing has come so far. Someone speaking? I'm hearing myself. Nursing has come so far over the years, and that was the topic I wanted us to truly talk about today. Nursing past and future. Yes, we can dive a little bit into nursing current, but if we look at nursing past and truly see how much development, how much of the advancement in nursing through the years, and can we look further than today and say how would it be like in your setting currently, Kittling? How would it be like if you were to look at where you are today and just imagine how far you've come from the nurses that practiced way before you came on board, and just think about 20 years from now, what would it look like? Can we just talk about that and truly see
Yeah,
what are
yeah.
we
I mean,
thinking?
w- we think about what we had, you know, back in the Florence Nightingale days, what we learned about in nursing school and how nursing used to be. And, you know,
Mhm.
they relied basically on their textbooks. They didn't have imaging to support what they thought. They didn't have labs to support what they, you know, what they just had a book to rely on and they went based off of that. And now, you know, we have some imaging that we can do, and we have this that we can diagnose, and it all kind of, you know, fits in the puzzle of everything. But, you know, in times to come in the future, you know, are we going to have nurses that do bedside care? Are we going to have, you know, what is technology going to go to? Are they still going to be able to deliver compassionate care? I mean, we have no idea. But if things go the way they're looking like they're going, I mean, who knows?
Hmm. Can you say a little more about what you mean by if things go the way they're going?
Well, technology is advancing so quickly. You know, I was born I'm still in my 20s, but I was born in the 90s, to where, you know, we didn't have cell phones. We had, you know, pagers, and then now we're in the 2020, you know,
Mhm.
this era, and you know, we have smartphones and tablets and this and AI to generate everything, and that's just in a matter of 30 years. You know, what in the next 20, 30 years, how far are we going to be? Not just, I mean, the medical field is always changing, it's always advancing, it's something that you have to either keep up with or you're not going to you're going to fall behind.
You will fall behind.
So you have to kind of, you know, see which route you want to take with that. If we want it to change, if we want it to be more computer generated and not so much person generated, you know.
You're right. You're right, Kathleen. You hit it on the mark because um, when we look at rural nursing, today in your setting, I believe nurses who are in their 60s today who practice there, if that setting has been around for longer than 30 years, they can say, listen, things you have today we never had. And we truly had to um, do recording of our reports. When I came into nursing, you're just speaking on 26 years ago, and the 26 includes being a nurse's aide and then 22 years of RN work. So 22 years ago, we were recording. We had a little tape recorder, and this was in Massachusetts. This is not in Africa. This was in Massachusetts, and we would come and record our report. So you're right. Years from now, 10, 20 years from now, you will be now telling nurses, hey, we've come a long way. But this long way actually has some challenges, would you say? What are the challenges? Even though we have so much to our disposal today, we have technology. We even have what they call a rover phone that I use currently, where literally you have your computer in on a cell phone. What are still the challenges that nurses are hurdling through, you would say, in your setting?
As far as that, I mean, we're going to experience challenges every day. I know that with, you mentioned the older nurses that have been here for 30 plus years, it's
Mhm.
hard to get them to adapt to new technology as well. To say, and I hate to say that, but I mean, it's so different for them. They don't like the computers. They don't like the smartphones. They like a simple way of life. And our patients, the older population does too. So if we're trying to target certain patients and we're trying to help them, we have to get back to what they know and what they understand.
Mhm.
So, I mean, the challenges is that, I mean, there is a significant, I mean, technology has really taken off the past couple, I want to say 20 years to
Mhm.
get them up to speed. I mean, I hate to say it, but we've got to either jump on the wagon or get off. And what do
Yes.
you do?
Yes.
We have computers that you go in and you're basically staring at the screen on a computer, just going through questionnaires rather than actually looking at your patient and doing physical hands-on. There's a lot of challenges with that because if you're looking at the screen, you're just talking to the patient, asking them questions and not looking at them, not touching them, not doing what you
Mhm.
can. How accurate is that assessment going to be?
It-
So there's a lot of challenges, especially with technology. There's going to be some more challenges when new products come out, new medical equipment.
mhm.
Either the hospitals are going to say yes, we like it, or no, we don't like it. And that's going to be what they choose. How quick we're going to evolve with all of it.
And I want to just give kudos to us nurses because we the resiliency that we demonstrate with all the changes that have come along is remarkable because we've come from writing our reports by paper, taking down care plan by paper, to now having it on smartphone, having it on computers that are, you know, e- sometimes even touch screen. So we have to keep evolving along the way, um, and we just go on along with it. What really takes me back to say this is inspiring, the inspiration that I draw from nurses that have come and gone and some are still here, is that they they survive through it. And it's just like from one generation to another, no matter what the challenges are, we continue to just roll through it and overcome it, adapt to the new systems, new diseases, high demands, and it's like nothing to us. We just, it comes along and we're already rolling with the program. And I can imagine you over just a matter of, well, you said 4 years, right?
Yeah, 4 years.
looking back, you've learned so many systems already.
Yes, in the matter of 4 years, I started out in psych nursing, which was some on paper, some in the system.
Mm,
And then I went to the COVID hit, and I went to a facility to do bedside nursing because I wanted my skills.
mm-hmm.
And I went into the cath lab from there, and just learning all that. And I've been a nurse since 2020, and I've learned all this. And I mean, I I don't regret any of it. I love what I do. I love the patients that I take care of. I love the gratification that I get, after a long days of work, and I think that it's wonderful. But it is changing, and you do either have to adapt, and I think it's part of who you are as a person. If you can roll with the punches and just say, "Okay, what's next? Here we go. This is what we got to do. This is the hurdle in front of me. I've got to do it. This is for my patient, this is for their family, this is for whatever it may be, but you've got to do it."
You gotta do it. I think it's embedded in us. It's ingrained that hey, I've got to do it. I have patients' lives at stake, and I can't sit back and fall behind. You have all your assignments. They're teaching you new technology. They're bringing new evidence-based practice alone. Is switching the gear on things that people say this is how we used to do it. This is how it works, or this is how we're used to doing it. So we'll keep doing it that way. That's old mentality. So evidence-based practice alone comes and says, you know what? No, it does not work well anymore. It's not providing safe care no more. So this is what research has proven, and it's from the bedside. Most of these evidence-based practices are from the bedside and say this is where we have to lead. And then maybe 5 years from now, as you know, when we're doing research, it says your literature has to be 5 years or less, right? It has to be 5 years, or 5 years or less. No, no more than 6 years. So that's how frequently things are changing on us. So as I say, our nurses out there, nursing students, CNA is a nursing student. So looking at where she's walking into, you're coming into a world that is way better than where we've come from. But like Kitlin said, you gotta keep up. You gotta keep up. What? Dance to the beat. Dance to the beat. Don't be left behind. So Amanda, what do you have to say to us on all these challenges that we have to encounter?
What's so funny about all of this is that before I worked in healthcare, I worked in IT. So I worked for a McKesson certified reseller of Practice Partner, which was a electronic healthcare record system, but the
Mhm.
company was a managed services system, like support system. So we would help doctors and nurses and billing administrators go from paper or an old server to a
Mm,
new server and EHR, and we'd have to have incentives, and we'd have to call the doctors back like, hey, there's all these meaningful use incentives, like we got to upgrade that server, it's going to be obsolete, and it's just like, no, I still want to use my pager, I still want to do paper, I want you to leave
mhm.
me alone with all this new technology. But at the end of the day, from what Caleb was saying was like, where is this going to go? Like, if we keep going like this, as far as nurses go, I mean, I think they're the most dynamic profession in general to begin with. So, well, and not just
Thank
because I'm a
you.
nurse cheerleader. What I'm really saying is like, at the end of the day, you're still going to be the one bringing people into the world, holding their hands while they're, you know, ending their journey on this in this life, and it's just it's amazing. I don't think that the compassion is going to be altered at all. I mean, you still have to have that dedication and, compassion. I mean, a nurse is a nurse. I mean, there's just nothing like it. So, from my perspective on as far as like rural resources and stuff, what I what I saw because I work in the EHR programs as well, as far as like inputting contact information, like advanced directives, things of that nature when onboarding a hospice patient or talking to them about hospice services, etc. The nurse, basically before the nurse comes, and getting all that input. It's very user friendly. I think I was extremely excited when I found the microphone button on my tablet, so I could stop, because it was not very friendly or forgiving with texting wrong. So if I'm looking at a patient and not looking down at what I'm typing, I'll look down and it's all gibberish, and I'm like, oh no.
Mhm.
So so I'm really glad to have like the voice to text kind of aspect in that program. But other than that, I really think that even if AI goes crazy or new softwares go crazy, nurses are still going to be absolutely the pioneer of it. They're going to be the ones that are teaching everybody else how to use it. And a part of my program for our rural areas is because of the fact that the resiliency in our nurses out here, but they did have lesser resources than other hospitals. You know, they were at capacity. I know at least at Huntsville Memorial Hospital was having to send patients. You know, that's about an hour and a half north of Houston, Texas, and they were having to send patients over to the Woodlands, over to Houston, to try to cover that overload. And you know, for a lot of people that are real back road living, you know, and having to go to the hospital to begin with, that's really hard. And then especially having to be transported, you know, 2-3 hours away, that's even harder on the family, on the patient. And you know, so just getting the resources that nurses need to continue to thrive and feel supported. And you know, these news articles of the newest information and technologies and such are types of articles and information that I try to get out, you know, to our nurses, and let them, you know, see it first, see it as soon as possible, be a part of bigger events going on in the world or in the US or in Texas, you know, even, and have those local resources. So that's real important to us. And so that's my take on it.
That's a lot of take on it. Thank you so much, Amanda. You know, the fact that you are, can I just call you the buffer system, because you 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 are now a nurse, but your, your role, your professional role facilitates our work, right? It facilitates our tasks so that we can perform it better, so that we can have the resources we need. So that truly helps us. And the fact that we have you here, and I will not pass the opportunity of saying congratulations for your role in NIC, being our Chief Innovation Officer, because what you've done in the past and what you continue to do, you are now taking it on a global stage. NIC is a global organization where, when I say rural Liberia that I know well, where there are no there may not be printers, there may not be EKG machines, right? Nurses are truly practicing manual. They're practicing from their textbooks. They're practicing from knowledge gained from clinical eons ago. And that truly hurts my heart, because I said, why don't we have the basic standards for nursing professionals globally, for knowledge base, for clinical expertise, so that if a nurse leaves here from Liberia and leaves from the US, go to Liberia, they're not struggling to understand the system, and nurses from here are not struggling to understand the system. And let alone if a nurse, if a patient, if God forbid I was a patient in Liberia, I want that nurse to have the most up to date knowledge and skills to take care of me. And I put myself in that predicament just in case, because I travel. I go to other parts of the world, and I would love for our nurses to have what they need, not just the physical tools that Caitlin described, but the brain work. Nursing is an art. Nursing is a science, right? So if we have the science and we don't have means to put hands on art, or the science is lagging, because 20 years ago, from 20 years ago, I graduated nursing school. I've not had any CEUs that we complain about in the US, like, oh my God, I gotta take 20 before I renew my license. Other nurses are deprived of that, unfortunately and shamefully. I would say that out here for whomever it hurts your feelings. It's not good for humanity. So, as in your role, back to you, Amanda. How do you see that your your past experiences with working with nursing staff, how would this role truly bring so much more to the world at large?
Oh man. Well, so it had just started in the rural areas, and to be quite honest, my fundraising and programs that were kind of driven by ideas out of my one of my nurse leaders' offices. She couldn't be with us today, but she will be on the podcast soon.
Yay.
I came in with all these donations from organizations, none of which were healthcare organizations. They were like your Top Golf, Kendra Scott, which I love Kendra Scott, and all these different places. And during this time, this was in 2021, 2022, and it was post pandemic. Like we're kind of getting toward the post pandemic, and I had a lot of hospice patients come on board in a very short amount of time, and so it was something I was trying to do just for my just three nurses, and the overwhelming response really lit something in me, a fire or torch, if you will, that was just like, okay, well, we need a way for, I'm not a nurse. These companies are not nurses, but they all have nurses in their lives. Maybe they had their mom, sister, wife is a nurse, daughter's a nurse, or they know a nurse. I mean, no one can say that they have not been touched by a nurse, and so it is a really close to home feeling, and I felt like it'd be very meaningful to showcase how many of these companies really to uplift the spirits of, our nurses that work. At least it started as a rural regional area, but once that kind of went viral per se, because then Texas Nurses Association was like, wait, what's going on? What are you guys doing? Because you're in the front page of all the papers in these little counties, and it wasn't me that's on the front page. I don't want to be on the front page. I'm actually very surprised I'm on video today. I don't like credit or center of attention, but I want the center of attention to be on you guys, on the nurses that are out there, frontliners that are doing the work. So I want Caitlin to be the frontliner in the spotlight. I want Tristan and all of our nurses, Dr. Nina Pugh, yourself, and so what I see is, as it goes global, I continuously find myself putting the word grassroots in everything, because I mean, nothing global ever started by just going global. I haven't really seen that, maybe on TikTok. I don't know. I'm not good at the TikTok thing, but it really does start in the grassroots. It starts in the rural areas. It starts in the urban areas. It starts with one single nurse or a non-nurse who cares and who just wants to make an impact or make a change, and be the change that you want to see. And so a lot of the reason why I did a nomination program for nurses was because of the fact that I saw all of these nurses that were communities together. They were all working together. They were all friends. If somebody was feeling burnout, one was always there to lift them up, and they just work really well together. And there were other places where I did not see such great character displays, but everybody has a bad day, right? I have a really close friend of mine who is a nurse in South Texas, and we will call each other. We're kind of like a buddy system, and one of us is really feeling that burnout. It's not there's no end result to this burnout term. I feel like it's a journey that comes and goes, kind of like grief, and it's an ongoing. I feel like it'll always be an ongoing thing. You just have to take care of yourself. So it's important to me to provide self-care type resources. It's important for me to practice what I preach. We know. And continuously, build those relationships. Those are things that I'm good at doing, is getting to know everybody, knowing what's important to them, helping them shine however they can. And I love doing graphic design and stuff like that. As I wind down from work, I think it's a therapeutic, and very productive, I guess, way to, feel good and feel like I'm making a difference. At least I can say that. So I feel like in our future we have a lot of programs coming up that will be absolutely amazing, from grassroots to global. So anywhere in the world, where you can share your nurse story. There's trips to the Caribbean you can win by doing so. We have our GoFundMe fundraisers and Giving Tuesday coming up, where we're supporting Dr. Niampu going to Liberia to share her resources. And I'm sure I already told her I was going to hop in her suitcase. But
I'm
her
making a
suitcase
room
might be
for you.
branded by then too. I've got like a whole merch shop going on so that we can do some internal fundraising, just things of that nature. And so that's kind of the stuff that I'm good at. I'm always ears for new ideas and suggestions from others. So if there's nurses out there or CNAs out there that maybe you saw something in your facility that was really cool, or you wish you had, or you have questions about any of that, or need wellness resources, or any sort of resources or support, just want to talk to another nurse. I may not be a nurse, but I know a lot of nurses. And so I can get you in touch with whoever, you need to find that community and find the support that you need. So that's what I'm here for. And so I'm here to innovate and make changes as far as how we support each other in the world of nursing and patient care. So thank
That's
you so
amazing.
much.
That's amazing. Listen, your expertise and beyond your expertise, let me just say your heart for nurses is you know how to give people the purple heart. you, you know, nurses, we give so much more of ourselves, so much more that we have maybe just the crust left for ourselves. But then you have this lady who is not a nurse, just works for nurses, and she is cheering us up. She and you've been doing this for so long, beyond my imagination, that when I came across you, I said, OMG, she's doing all these things and she's not a nurse. I was asking Casey, I said, you sure she's not a nurse? She's never done nursing. She doesn't want to go to nursing.
Yeah, Casey was surprised too, but Casey and I, we think alike. It's like she would have a thought and I'd be like, I've already designed it and I already have all of that. And she's like, what? That's crazy. I absolutely love Casey. But yeah, no,
Listen,
I'm not a nurse, but I do have a lot of nurse family members, nurse friends, and especially working in hospice, like I said, I work with all different kinds of nurses, and there's such a great respect for all you guys do, and so I know that I can utilize my skills to help provide and help get others to kind of be cheerleaders as well in supporting nurses, because I just felt like there's such a big gap in an aspect of, especially during and post pandemic, of who is supporting the caregivers. And I say that, and I say caregiver because sometimes it's not nurses too. I have friends of mine that are taking care of their parents, and a lot of patients that I've come across, it's them and their families taking care of each other. My family included, taking care of my grandfather a couple months ago. My cousin was doing all of the work. And what's amazing about this is when you have support, even if you're not a nurse, you have support for others that are providing care in such a deep regard, and you really, it's not like I'm going all this crazy above and beyond. I really enjoy what I do. It doesn't feel like work to me, just like how nursing doesn't feel sometimes. I'm sure sometimes it does feel like work to you, but you know what I mean. My cousin who was the caregiver, who was not a nurse, is now in nursing school to finish her nursing
oh,
degree and become a nurse after such an amazing caregiving experience for my grandfather, who was suffering from dementia. And so I think it's a beautiful world of empowering people to, if you're a CNA, get that LVN. If you're an LVN, get that RN. If you're an RN, get that, BSN, NP, like just keep going and keep educating. Feed the younger, not eat the younger.
yeah.
and really just truly support each other and build that community up, because we're all going through different struggles in our lives. All of us, patients included, nurses included, doctors included. But the nurses, I mean, y'all take up such a big population that there's no doubt in my mind that a nurse community globally that comes together and really provides that for other nurses, no matter what it is, that's the future of where healthcare needs to be. So that's what I see it happening.
That's amazing. Thank you so much, Amanda. I want to just back up a little bit to how I would say nursing professionals from Florence Nightingale days, how they survived through. They were supportive to each other. She actually came on and said, "Listen, um, this nursing profession is not just it is beyond where it is. We should take it beyond where it is now." So she brought on research. She truly brought um more morale to this thing called, or this practice called nursing. And I believe that from her support, the way she carried herself, the way in which she advocated for nurses and nursing in general, brought so much more to where we see today. We're doing research, we're advancing in our profession, from just being a diploma nurse to being a doctoral nurse. We have the PhD, we have the DMP, and who knows what else is coming on. So that brings me back to you, Caitlin. Do you have that support? Do how how are you supporting each other and uplifting the morale, nursing morale? Because we're dying off if we're not. You know, we will die or will become extinct, and society
Yes, absolutely.
cannot stand.
We will.
Mhm.
Without people like Amanda, I mean, absolutely, someone
Whew.
being, like she said, our cheerleader, um, because sometimes we are a little hard on ourselves, or, we
Oh
say, oh,
yes,
I could have done this better. I could have done,
yes.
this, or hey, did I do that right? Or, our brain never stops even after a shift.
Mhm.
We have so much to kind of look out for, whether it's doctors making sure they're kind of ordering the right thing, the right route, the right dose. It doesn't just, we're all human and we do make mistakes, but we do have those second, third checks that do help us out. Um, without people being in your corner or being able to uplift you, you're all on your own. And, you
Mm.
need a village with anything and everything you do
Woo!
in life.
Yes,
Raising kids, you need a village. With your work, you need a village, and you need someone that's going to match your energy. You need someone that, you don't want water to seek its own level. You want everyone to come up to where you are.
yes,
So, and I think that that's what's going to play the biggest role in how we move forward with everything.
yes. Totally agree with you, 100%. Um, Amanda, the secretary at work sometimes is more supportive to us nurses than we are to each other. Shamefully, regretfully, there are nurses who would definitely stab each other in the back, and I've seen it. And then you have the secretary or just another doctor that comes along and say, "That was a great job. Look how you handle that situation. Look how you administer that." Whatever it is, they just give you that applause that you needed from another nurse. So truly, yes, when we have our movements, but as nurses, I go back to Florence Nightingale. If she was not a cheerleader within her rights to bring nursing, nurses were considered nothing. They were just, if anything, prostitutes, or they were just nothing. You know, the history is very dark. It's not pretty till she comes along and says, "You know what? No, we're more than that. We can, we can be recognized here. We can get advanced degrees. We can bring infection control on board, save lives." So the story is vast, but also I go back to a woman who saw hope in a profession that was hopeless. So we nurses today don't see hope in our in everything we're doing, whether it's because we lack supplies, we lack tools, we lack the the basic knowledge. As I mentioned, there are nurses around the world that truly need that updated material, the science to carry on. They need the physical supplies. If you look at some of the podcast past, they've mentioned that just oxygen for their patients or blood supply, they have to donate their own blood. Okay, so we can do all of that. Let us top it up with uh, um, uh, giving congratulations to our co-workers. Hey girl, you did a fantastic job in there. And she said, oh really? Because Kathleen, as she mentioned, we are constantly being critical of ourselves. That IV, did I start it right? Did I try too many times? And no, you were persistent till you got it. Congratulations, because that patient now can get hydration. Let us just look around, because if you work in rural America, you work in rural Liberia, the worst place ever, that truly needs everything around the world to help them perform their work. No matter where you work, my point is, look around and just be that support for another nurse. Look around and just help each other out, because the journey that we're on currently and in the future, even if technology advances beyond where we are, my point is, the human factor should not be lacking. It should be there, even surplus. We have a non-nurse that is cheering us up. This is a prime example that we can do it as well. We can actually step up our game and pump up the volume of cheering each other up. I can
And I
go
just
on.
want to add to that. It's well, one of the things that I heard the most, when presenting, like for the awards program, it was really like a recognition. And while I felt like Bob Barker giving out all these little prizes and gifts and stuff, it was a very ridiculous, crazy time. The biggest feedback that touched my heart the most was, like supporting a director of nursing at a skilled nursing facility who's gone through, the last three, now it's been almost, gosh, 5 years, but at the
Yes.
time it was like 3 years of all these regulations and telling families they can't come in, or telling patients and residents they can't go out, and strict regulations, low on supplies, and feeling like their entire team absolutely hates them. I mean, even as a new director of nursing, or even one that's been there for years, is just kind of like, we're all empathic, and we all have that heart of, what do they think about me, or do they love me, do they hate me, and the fact that she was nominated by all of her peers and coworkers, people underneath her, as that she managed, and even her leadership team, that she thought absolutely couldn't stand her because of all these regulations that she had to be strict about, because it was her license on the line. I mean, she was brought to tears with the award, and that part of it really touched me. Is like, oh my gosh, there was another DON at another facility 30 miles away in another small town that was like, I've been a nurse for 30 something years, and I have never been recognized like this from my own coworkers and other clinicians. And that part of it kind of, broke my heart a little bit. It's kind of like, oh, okay, well, we really need to
Yeah.
toot each other's horns a little bit more, really raise each other up. And it's okay to celebrate small wins, even if it's just a little small win. I mean, we made it through a day, thank the Lord. We made it through a day. We made it through a night shift. We made it through one more, just one day at a time, one win at a time, and then celebrate the big stuff. I'm trying to put together these nurses' night out events. I started them in East Texas. We had a live music outing in Cleveland a couple months back during Nurses Month, where we had the live music scene. We had some giveaways, and a bunch of nurses from all over came and just hung out, and just just for fellowship. May have a karaoke night, may have a PJs and pizza
Oh
in
my
somebody's
goodness.
house at night. You know what I mean? Just that, just have a way for nurses to really just be together. Outside of work and, as much as we can, and, really just celebrate each other's achievements, however small or big they are, and kind of help each other learn how to practice better self-compassion as far as when we do screw up or if we are burning ourselves out and we know it. I'm an
Yes.
insomniac and I know it. Like, and so I'm just like, you need to do better. You need to do better. And so I know, as nurses, you guys are really hard on yourselves too. And so to be your cheerleader, I am most glad to be there to
Oh,
help how I can.
that's amazing. I can't wait to join one of those pajamas parties.
Right?
And
Y'all are gonna have to come out to East Texas.
yes, yeah, that sounds so amazing. Caitlin, I know you're on audio. And sometimes when visual is not there, it's like you gotta look down, and make sure that we're not forgetting you. But listen, I am so proud of you for the type of nurse that you have become over 4 years. There are many of us, we stay somewhere for what, 6 years before we venture, but you have moved around. And I want to let you know that growing up as a nurse, just because I found that I was not going to stay somewhere and feel the boredom of the place, if I was not growing, if I felt like I was stagnant, I moved. I don't know if that's your situation, but kudos to you for the settings you've worked in, because your portfolio is diversified. I tell you that. You know that the toolbox that all nurses should have from the start of their profession to when they retire, because that toolbox should be able to guide you to the next phase, to the next phase, so that when you're retiring or you can no longer run those long hallways, you can find something that is suitable, but maybe you've passed it in your track, and now you can go back to it and have a more relaxed and laid back work environment. I say good to you. Don't stay somewhere and feel bored and feel like you're not growing. And because then over time, that's when burnout starts, because then you don't have that passion no more to be there. But wherever you find that you want to stay longer, no problem. But I'm so proud of you. I could not have left you without saying you sound like my type of person who
Oh,
don't stay in one place, not because you want to run around, but just getting your experiences and getting
absolutely.
exposure.
And I think that's what nursing is about, right? It's not meant for you to stay stagnant. You don't work
No.
so hard for a license for that to stay in one spot, right? You have to learn. You have to go out. You have to spread your wings, and yeah, it's challenging at times. But I love it. Truly, um, it's so great, and it's been so rewarding to me in the end.
Also,
Um,
do you have nurses in your family?
so my sister is a nurse as well. She kind of followed my footsteps. Me and my sister are the first college graduates in my family. Um,
Ooh.
so me and her kind of, running the show, and then I have a cousin who's a PA. But as far as that, we're the first. Um, and we are, we don't hang our hats on we're nurses, we know everything. That's not how it is, right? But if you have a question, by all means, we're gonna sit here and help you figure it out. It's all about, you know there's a respect thing that comes with it, but it's not for flaunting,
Mm-hmm.
right? It's this is who you are.
Wow.
But
Thank you.
yeah, it's great.
Sister nurses, I have one. She's my younger sister. She's in nursing as well, and we've worked at several companies in the past.
Mm-hmm.
And it's always fun. We've taken some mission trips together, and it's fun when you can share that time. Yeah, our mother is a nurse as well.
Oh
She
wow.
brought me into this. She brought me into this. She signed me up, like she committed me today. But no, truly, she inspired me, and over the years, we've inspired other family members. We have over 15 nurses in my family,
Wow.
Um,
That's
yeah,
wonderful.
yeah, over
So
15.
wonderful.
It feels
Yeah.
awesome because we can speak on the same terms when we
Right.
meet. We can
That's
share
me and my
ideas.
sister. You know, we call and we vent, and I think that's most important too, is venting to someone who speaks the same
Yes,
language as that, because you don't want to go home and stir on it. I mean, I
yes.
hate to go back during COVID times, but it really took a toll on all of us that did bedside.
Mm,
And it was, you have to vent.
yes.
I mean, it was such a sad time that, you know, if I stayed in psych, I didn't, my eyes weren't opened to what was truly going
Mm,
on to actual bedside nursing.
yes. Caitlin, you and I need to speak on why we have that hunger to leave the non-clinical settings to go get our tools polished, because I've been there. And when I got back, girl, I did not even know how to prime the smart pump. I had to go on YouTube. Listen, that's
Oh my
another
goodness.
podcast. I had to go on YouTube and watch it real quick. It was shameful. I was like, oh my God,
Yes.
my patient needs his IV drip, and I don't know how to prime this
Mm-hmm.
machine. I've been away for like 6 years in psych. And so
Yes.
I can't wait. You and I need to talk about this because people need to hear what it feels like when you feel like you're a fish out of water and you need to go back and
Yeah.
get
And
some.
that's just a part of learning that they think that, oh, nurses went to school, we learned it in school. Yeah, but if we don't use those skills, I'm losing them, and I don't
You
want to
lose
lose
them.
them.
You
I
lose
don't.
them.
I worked way too hard for them. Now, putting in an NG tube, I haven't had to do that in a hot minute, but
Yeah.
I mean, I'll probably go back to YouTube to figure it out.
Don't be you to university is awesome. But again, that takes me back to how technology is flying by and all
Mhm.
these new gadgets. If you've never used it, and you've been in nursing for 10 years, you're like, OMG, what am I gonna do if and I
Mhm.
like to know what to do, you know?
Yes.
So
Yes.
that is awesome.
Absolutely.
Oh my, our time is far spent. So please let us have another episode and just talk. Any topic, anything. But
Deal.
truly, let's talk about, the just that what is it, the hunger to go back to the clinical arena and polish your
Mhm.
skills. It's a real, I want to say it's a condition, it's a
Mhm.
it's
We're
a
chasing it.
phenomenon.
It's the adrenaline with it too, you know.
Yes,
It's that different side of thinking, not so much mental, but it's the critical thinking that'll come with it.
yes, yes. Any final words, anything that we didn't touch today? Listen, we are off script a little bit because we had to finagle ourselves. But that's nursing. If it don't work this way, we will change the gear. We will make it happen. Don't we do that, Kathleen, a lot? Certain things
All
don't work
day.
for a certain patient. We have to
Mhm.
switch the gear, and it happens like this automatically. Nurses, I'm telling you, we're a beast.
We are. We are.
So we did that here today, and we will put it back, and we'll get Tristan, right? Tristan will come back, and we'll get the whole gang here, and it'll be even a bigger party. We won't be in
Yeah.
pajamas. Sometimes we will.
We
It's
might. So
it's
me
just
and
be
Tristan and I, we're great friends, very, very close. We have the
awesome.
same mindset with everything, so I think it would be great.
It'll be a fun party. Amanda, keep
Yes.
connecting us because this podcast, one thing though, I tell you, when I'm in the area, I don't know. I will try because I won't be always in the same area where we have internet or my little internet. What
Little
is it?
hotspot.
My hotspot? I'll
Yes.
buy when I get back. No promises. We will try to pull off this Sunday's
Oh,
podcast.
for sure.
Yeah.
So I want all of y'all still have to do that dance on December 8th, right? No, we'll do
Listen,
a
we
pajama
didn't
party
forget.
that day.
I'm the dance leader. On your birthday, I'll be
Woo!
shaking what my mama gave me. Seriously, I love it. I love dancing. So,
Oh yes. I say all the nurses all over the world, wear your PJs December 8th,
yes,
get on the StreamYard,
yes,
YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn.
yes.
We could all just go on live. with some cool PJs. I've got onesies. If any nurses want to borrow one of my onesies, I've got a pepperoni pizza one, and I've got one that matches my Boston Terrier too. Oh my
Oh
goodness.
my God. Listen, they're
Matching
watching
PJs is
us
the best.
and they're listening. So Amanda's birthday is December 8th, and we're throwing a virtual party for her. Get your PJs from India. This is the fun part.
Anywhere.
From anywhere, wherever you are, your nursing charge, join the party and let us give her a festive birthday, a festive virtual birthday party.
Hey, it's the gift that gives
Yeah.
back, right? Because it's
Yes.
really going to be a lot of fun for
It's
everybody.
gonna blow your mind. It's gonna blow your mind, girl. Yes, you're in this for the long haul. So okay.
I know it. I know it. I knew it a long time ago. As soon as all this stuff started, and I got to know Tristan and Caitlin and Leslie. So there's just a large group of these amazing women and men that are, just powerful in their own communities, and they are strong, and their little circles are tight knit, and just being a part of it is very rewarding for me in general. And anything I can do to spearhead that forward, I just, at first I wanted to make a big, recognition of the nurses that work in rural East Texas because of how amazing they really are. And with the lack of resources at the time that they had during, the pandemic and post-pandemic, sometimes even, we've had a lot of waves of people getting really sick out here, and not having, enough capacity to serve them, and things of that nature. And then just, at this point, I feel like there's been a wave of people just kind of like, oh, well, I'm past burnout. I just don't care anymore. And it's like, well, we really don't want to go there. So we really want to get kind of back to where maybe, the nurses and the nurse's best friend can pioneer people back into compassion and, just serving humanity for the better, not, really paying too closely attention to the negativity and such going around. At the end of the day, there's still a job to do, and we do have our God-given gifts, and that's what we're here to do, is to serve others and bring the light back. So as pioneers, that's what we're gonna do.
That's what we're gonna do. So ladies, if I have one last request, is that I need help on this podcast. I need people to host it, co-host it. So I'll just be one of the member of the team, because when it comes to when I cannot run it, I want it to still go on. So if you're out there, if it's you, Kathleen or Tristan or Amanda, join the team. Let this podcast not depend on one person.
Sure
That's
thing.
my call to action.
I know between Caitlin and Tristan, they can rally some nurses for sure. I'm always
Absolutely.
happy to host, I guess, and bring on nurses
Yeah,
to do a lot of the talking, because I can't speak clinically, but I can speak to be a cheerleader, I guess, at least.
absolutely. You can be our facilitators. After all, you're the chief innovation officer, right? So, and you do this in your sleep. So, let us
I
look
do.
for. It's
Hey, we
amazing.
all have our own hobbies when we unwind after work, right? And so
It's
I'm
true.
on the road all day in hospice, and I work in the field, and I'm driving all these back roads. I'm navigationally challenged, so it takes a while for me to get anywhere anyway. And so, by the end of the day, the emotional tax, everything is at an all-time high, and all I want to do is play
Yeah.
on my little app and design stuff. And all of a sudden, you guys have, media kits, and Casey's just laughing because she's like, "Oh my gosh, how did you do all this?" And I'm like, "Oh, it's a fine. I just did it before I went to bed the other night."
Oh my God.
And so that's
Oh
just,
my God.
some people just have crazy gifts. Tristan is actually just like that. We ended up having this T-shirt fundraiser type of thing, which was kind of my idea, spun off of all of these designs that she was using, this little app that she drew in. I think it was called Procreate, right, Caitlin? I'm not sure. I know it's been a while, but she made all these beautiful designs, and I was like, oh my gosh, you could slap that on a T-shirt. It'd be amazing. So,
Wow.
and so that's kind of how all that idea stuff started. And I think it's very therapeutic and a great way to unwind from work, and once you get, I made the joke of once you get swamped or kind of, overwhelmed on one project, just, don't, cut it down. Like, just go ahead and start another one. That's the right thing, right? Then they're all
Oh my
half done and
God,
you're stressed. It's fine.
Amanda, you too much.
Just
You too
kidding.
much.
Just kidding. Kind of.
Let me just give a
Thank y'all
big
so
shout
much.
out
And
to
a big thank you again to Caitlin for coming in on such short
yeah,
notice. Um, I know Tristan's living that mama lifestyle and things are crazy on a church
Yeah,
Sunday. And so I truly appreciate it, Caitlin.
absolutely.
Thank you.
thank you
Yeah,
so much,
no
Caitlin.
worries anytime.
You made the day. You made the you what I say. You saved the day because Amanda and I we
Yeah.
were going to be sitting here talking about. We were going to find something to talk
All
about.
sorts of fun stuff still, but it wouldn't have been any clinical anything.
Oh no, she added juice to this party for real. And I see Ava,
Oh, good deal.
Ava Lewis, Ava. I should I say my coworker, my ex coworker, but she's still in my circle. From the VA, I see D Roberts. She was actually on episode 12, and then Siane. Oh my God! All NIC members here, and I see Maria Make. I hope I'm saying your name right. This lady is always cheering us up on, and I believe Maria, you are a nurse. Please join us on this podcast one of these days because she sees all of our podcasts. I've been following the what is it called? Something that happens in the background, and I've been noticing that Mariah, you are on there. Thank you so much, you guys. I see you guys just back there. If you're not commenting, we want to hear what you're thinking. What are we saying that resonate with you? But yeah, thank you so much, everyone. Today has been a blast. Listen, sometimes certain things that you don't plan it to run this way, but then when it comes out, it's better. Like when you're cooking certain soup, that you just slap everything in a pot, become a gumbo soup. It's even better than if you had a recipe for it. So today was just God made it happen. Thank you, Lord. I'm still in my Sunday suit, and I know some of you guys are joining us right after church. Thank you. As you all know, let me just say a little bit about NIC. We are a faith-based organization, and we were founded in Florida, but we are global and we are making big waves. So bring your colleagues on, sign up, and make this a global movement. We're empowering nurses, we're connecting nurses, we are celebrating nurses. So anything that's happening, you want to profile a nurse, you just want to shout them out because they're doing a phenomenal work, something they've been a blessing to you. Just let us know. Listen, we will put them on full blast. So thank you guys. And we don't only work with nurses alone. We have people who are not nurses. They are police officers. They are lawyers. They are, you name it. They are Amanda. You name it. So if you have that person who love nurses and they just want to make the world a best place for nurses, bring them on board. Cheer us up. Let us make this a fun place to be. Let us know our nursing colleagues around the world because there are things they know that we don't know. There are things we know they don't know, and we can just make the world a big, happy, better place than it has ever been. I bet Florence Nightingale, where she is, and all the pioneers of nursing that are dead and gone, resting, they are like, whoa, we love the place where nursing is now, where it's headed. Because nurses in charge and all of the nursing organizations out there, they're just working so hard to bring nursing all the best. So thank you guys. We meet here every Sunday. We tweaked the time today so that we can meet at 3 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Central. And we do that every now and then when the schedule don't work for certain time zones. So we will bend backward. Because that's what nurses do anyways. This is not new to us. But thank you guys for joining today. Bring more ideas, bring your stories. Let us just have fun. Amanda's birthday coming out. Don't forget. You gotta show up and show out. Bye, guys. You
That's
have
right. Thank y'all so much.
a
Thank you, Dr. Nampier, for all you do.
it's been
Yes,
a
ma'am. Thank y'all.
thank you,
Thank you,
Caitlin.
Caitlin.
Awesome. Thank you, Amanda. See you in WhatsApp.
Yeah, so yeah, I'm still learning WhatsApp.
It's okay.
I have
Listen,
there's so many different communities.
there are
I'm
many.
gonna have to take another look at all that. So I saw somebody say something yesterday, not a part of Nurses in Charge, saying, "Oh, let's all get on video on WhatsApp," and I'm like, "What?"
Girl, there was a
So,
video.
I'm innovative, but sometimes y'all are gonna have to train me, okay? I'm not good with the TikTok and stuff.
Oh, I do TikTok too.
I did master, I wouldn't say master. I did really get down the reels and the shorts, the
Mhm.
little clip videos and such now. I
Yeah.
cannot wait to show you all the ones I made
Oh
from
my
your
God.
talk in NYC.
Nice.
So those will be going up.
We're going.
I had to ask like 3 different children, like kids. I'm like, how do you do this? I need to know. I know that you know. Y'all do short reels all the time.
Yeah.
It's so funny. And then of course my sister, who's 26 and an English high school teacher, and she helped me too. It's like, thank the Lord for the younger
Yeah.
generations who can help
Sometimes
train
they
us.
say, you don't know how to do this. I said, that's why I'm coming to you.
If I don't know how to do it, I'll figure it out.
Yeah. Yeah. That's awesome. All right, ladies. Y'all go have the best rest of your evening. Thank you so much for partying out here
Thank
today.
you. Bye, y'all. Take care. Have a good day.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye, Kathleen. Bye, Amanda.
Bye.
Bye, our friends on Facebook. Ava, D. Roberts, Siane, Mariah. All right, guys. Y'all have a blessed evening. See you next Sunday. God's willing.